Ladies and gentlemen, try that again.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Have you done this before, Alex?
First time, actually.
Right, yeah, you're doing wonderful. I can't tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Gameplay Today. My first one ever. I am Alex Stadnick, and I'm honored to be joined by the I almost said Inspirator.
Please say Inspirator. Let's keep
the
that.
Inspirator of indie games, Jill Grote. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And then, of course, the pride of Milwaukee, the king of late night, John Carson. Hello.
Hello, Alex. Finally, it's that time of year.
Christmas?
It is Christmas for disgusting Monster Hunter perverts like me. It's time for a new expansion.
I will dive into the word pervert there on a different time, but John, what are we playing today?
This is Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and actually, Jill was lucky enough to play this at an event recently.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I'm super jealous, and I'm living through her right now.
I offered to let him travel up and go to San Francisco, but Game Informer wasn't that keen on the idea, so I unfortunately had to take his place. But yeah, it was a lovely experience. It's always nice in these times to be able to physically go somewhere and very safely try things out. And for this particular run, it was really funny because we're in the middle of a hunt here that you can see for Lunagaron, which is one of the new monsters coming to the expansion. And as John and I learned when we later spoke to the Monster Hunter team, the main monster, Malzeno, is sort of vampire themed.
Oh.
But all the other sort of monsters that are being included are also sort of Western monster mythology.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Kind of a big monster mash.
Was it a smash?
It was a graveyard smash. Yeah, so Lunagaron here is actually kind of inspired by Wolfman werewolf mythology. So you can see here at the beginning, he started out with sort of being on all fours, and then as he gets more serious, he starts standing up on his hind legs. He's got those... oh yeah, he's down, but just before he went down, you could see he had ice all over him, which is sort of protective, but also it can really mess you up. One wrong hit is gonna send you all the way back to camp. And
for sure.
Yeah. I actually had a really funny experience where I did something wrong and went into the preview too early, and I ended up on complete opposite end of the map from everybody hunting. So I had to run as quickly as humanly possible over. Look how cute this is. You got a nice little ride.
It's just bopping. Yeah. Jill, a couple clarifying questions before we continue.
Yeah.
This is not your gameplay, correct?
No, this is not my gameplay.
And what did you play on when you went hands-on with it? PC, Switch?
We were on PC, I believe.
Okay, cool.
No. We were definitely on Switch because I had all the buttons are backwards. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That was my experience. So when we were gonna interview the developers for this, I jumped on the PC version and all the buttons were backwards for me because I'm used to playing on Switch.
Right. Yeah. I gotcha. So, John, what did you learn from your talks with the dev team?
Yeah. I mean, one of those interesting facts was the Western monster design, which I didn't pick up on at first, but seeing it now, we're seeing Garen Golem, who's one of the other new monsters. I'm really seeing a Frankenstein motif with him.
Oh, interesting.
So it has a mixture of I believe fire and water attacks. So it's someone Frankensteined up a monster. It has that that cylindrical head. So yeah, I'm starting to see these neat little things in there. But we talked with the producer and the director for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and yeah, they told us about the new outpost, which is El Gato, And they also told us about going on follower quests, which sound really fun and interesting, especially if you're more interested in like single player content, because you can take the different characters in the outposts out on hunting missions, and they all have like their own weapon specialty. So it's like they're like another person with you without having to like go through the hoops of doing multiplayer.
Interesting. And does that go into the main game as well, or just the DLC?
So they do take characters from the original Monster Hunter Rise, from Kamara Village, and they'll also do some of the follow requests, because I believe, Jill, if I'm understanding this correctly, some of those characters come with you to Elgato and kind of like set up shop there, correct?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in the town, you definitely get to stop off. I didn't get to explore a lot. They were really interested in keeping us, towards the hunting. But they did let us stop off at the tea shop, which is just set up. It's a nice little like pop up, and I always love going to the any sort of food place in Monster Hunter, because those animations are just so fun. It's not terribly different from Monster Hunter Rise, but it is slightly different, so go ahead and check that out.
As long as you can get that dongo, that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have that cute little song, do the little dance, have some delicious dongo, and then you go on your hunt. It's great.
Exactly.
There you go.
And then for follower hunts, I did want to jump in here because we did follower quests.
Yes.
We did get to go on one, and the follower that I had was Master Arlo. And you're not seeing this here. I believe you will see it in a little bit. But he's super rude and very helpful, because any follower can, of course, do damage and help you fight and attack. They can set traps. They can help heal you, even though that's not, you shouldn't rely on them, because they will let you die. But
just like my friends.
Yeah, they can also.
John, I left you at the bar one time, and you never let me forget.
And I died. It was wild. You really should have taken better care of me.
But yeah, they can do things like ride on monsters, and if you were perhaps like me, very excited that you had gotten a monster down to the mountable state, and were about to jump on, and then Arlo freaking jumps on their back before you can and starts running around, you might perhaps think they were really rude. So
said, hold my dongo. I'm gonna do this for you.
Just jumped on.
Now, so we're still fighting Lunageron. I don't know why I attempt even some of these names, but it's to learn. We're gonna switch to another monster here shortly, but on top of the new monsters, is there new classes? I would assume there's new weaponry because of the monsters. Like, what else is that new in this DLC?
So there's new, like, every new monster is gonna bring like new weapons and armor that you can build, but like the weapon archetypes are the same. But what they are doing is they're adding more what they call silkbind attacks, which are special attacks that you use your wire bugs for. And wire bugs are like your you'll see it at the bottom of the screen there. There's a little resource that you spend wire bugs to do special attacks. So they're adding more of those for each weapon type, for each class, I guess, in the simplified terms. But also they're adding something called skill swap. I believe is the terminology for it.
Okay.
And it's, you have like 2 customizable wire bug attacks that you can swap out normally outside of a hunt, and like customize your attack layout a bit. What this allows you to do is have actually two loadouts of it that you can swap between during your hunt.
Okay.
So you can have maybe something that you're better for like DPS and like getting in on a monster, and you might have like a more defensive a couple of attacks that you want to switch to. But you can switch to it on the fly and actually do it while you're like evading attacks. So it seems to be a pretty seamless when I get to it in the game.
Actually
but-
did get to, I was hands-on, so I got to try this a little bit. It was very seamless. I, switched back and forth. I was not particularly strategic. Some people were very, very particular about their loadouts, but I did one that was completely different from the other, so I would just have the full range of experience. And it was really easy to just switch back and forth. And on top of that, the wire bugs, you used to have to expend a wire bug to like wall climb or wall run, and now you don't have to do that anymore, which was very helpful for me when I got stuck on the far end of the map and had to run all the way to the monster hunt, and I was just running up walls and having a great time. So for this one, though, it looks like we've switched over to this second hunt, which was the follower quest that we went with Arlo, and you can see him around here trying to steal
rude
people's
boy.
monsters.
Boo,
Rude.
boo, Arlo.
But this is Surregios,
Sorry,
and
yeah.
it's not a new monster. We've seen this monster before, but it's new to Rise, and
Oh. Okay.
it is sort of as you see, it's a flying dragon monster that's just like the claws. You literally just you can take one hit and just completely faint. So it's really nice to have those wire bugs to get out of the way and dash as much as you can so that you don't get hit by those claws. But if you do kind of back away, because at one point I was trying ranged weapons like bow and arrow and that kind of thing, but Surregios will come at you. It's got scales that it throws at you, and they're lacerating. So at one point I got the bleed effect, which hurts you every time you essentially move. So
Yeah,
that it was a hard time.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna get some challenge on these monsters.
Also, terrifying sand swordfish coming at you doesn't help either.
Those
No.
are just street sharks.
Oh, street
Don't worry
sharks.
about-
Excuse
yeah.
me. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, what else am I missing here? What other new additions did you get to play, Jill? Like anything else you want to cover?
So there's definitely some. I don't know if I didn't see this, but when we spoke to the director and the producer, we asked about follower quests, and they actually said something very interesting, that there are follower quests like you're seeing here, where it's just one particular person and it's kind of story related, but they also said something else about quests, and I want to make sure I get this correct, so let me check really fast. So there are things called support surveys,
Okay.
which are separate, and you can choose up to 2 followers to join you, and I'm not sure exactly what the circumstances are for those support surveys.
So it sounds like surveys are typically when you just go out and explore the region or whatever region that you want, and it's like no time limit. You can just if there's monsters in the field, you can hunt them or whatever. That's what it sounds like to me. They didn't really go into too much detail on it. But the regular follower quests are only just one character that goes with you, where these support surveys you can have 2, which is neat. You can just bring whoever your favorite characters are with you on those instead of the specifically mandated follower quest.
Okay. Interesting. So, Jill, are you now more excited after you've gotten to go hands-on with this? Any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
I mean, everything was smooth. Everything, obviously there's a lot of challenge here, and I got to play with a lot of different weapons and see some cool things. I really love being able to wall run without having to use resources. There's a lot to be interested in if you want more Monster Hunter. There's nothing hugely, groundbreaking or anything, breaking the formula, but if you are wanting more Monster Hunter, this is for you.
Okay. For sure. John, any final thoughts from your time talking to the devs, or if your level of excitement after seeing today's video?
Yeah, I mean, everything that the devs said was pretty on par with what they've been showing. They've been pretty close to the chest on a lot of greater details, but like I'm just excited for the monsters that they're adding. The new monsters look great. The returning monsters like Seregios are also very welcome additions, and I'm just excited to get out there and hunt some more. I'd say my final thoughts are hunt good, monsters bad.
Well, when is this coming out?
I believe this is out on June 30th.
Okay.
On PC and Switch.
For both. Okay. We'd love to see it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, our dragon friend is running away, and we are going to as well. Jill, John, thank you so much for joining me. Viewers, thank you for watching. If you want more previews on the biggest games of 2022 and beyond, you know where to find us. youtube.com/GameInformer, GameInformer.com. New gameplay today. It's a beautiful thing. We have so much stuff coming up in the next 2 weeks. A little thing called Summer Game Fest is coming up, and we got a lot of fun stuff planned for y'all. And more Monster Hunter coverage too, I would imagine. So thank you for watching. Be good to one another, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.